Yo, I am Tarah M. Williams. This is another episode of the Tea Time with Tarah show. I am your chaos coordinator and accountability partner or goal setting expert. Uh, for more information about who I am and what I do, you can visit www.stalkyourdestiny.com. And today, our guest decided to talk about, as you all heard, he decided to talk about direction, as in what he needs on his way to stalk his destiny, on his journey to stalking his destiny. We're going to get into it. Put things in their proper place. And when you put things in their proper place, then you're able to see how much more time you have to focus on other things. And if your professional life, if your business life, if you're trying to make a life for yourself, if those things are not in order, then stop rushing to the comfort of a dependent person. Stop rushing to lean on someone else if you are not taking care of your own situation, your own life. And that's a really, really big distraction because we all want and need the social connection in terms of another person, in terms of love and endearment, those types of things, companionship. We need those things, but put them in proper place. And there's a saying, I think I've said it before, do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and click the link in the comments or in the description for my book, The ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny. Every show we've done for season 1 and season 2 of the Tea Time with Tarah show is based on the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, and you can figure that out for yourself as well by clicking the link below and ordering your copy. So I'm going to read in here direction for those of you who may not have a book yet, and then we're going to get into the conversation with my guest, Stanley K. Harvey. Direction. As mentioned before, when I started my coaching business, I focused on identity, direction, and accountability. When stalking your destiny, you must know who you are, where you are going, and how you will get there. It is said that some go through life wondering and others wandering. Both are looked at as lost. There is nothing wrong with being lost, but it is imperative to find the direction for which you desire to go. I have run into people who come to me for help but do not want to elevate their current state of being. I can't effectively do my work in that manner. I can help them as far as I am able, but that usually doesn't go too far. Identifying your current position is the first step in defining the steps to take to get you where you want to go. It's as though you are lost in the woods. The first piece of information you need to know is where you are. In order to stalk your destiny, you must know who and where you are in order to know who and what you will become. I once heard a story of a woman who walked through every door opened unto her. While that may work for some people, for many, it may simply be a distraction or proof of a lack in direction. Every open door or opportunity is not yours for the taking. Read that line again. Every open door or opportunity is not yours for the taking. Find your path. Doing what everyone else is doing may get you started, but it won't keep you going. You must find your lane and go where it takes you. There is a saying, fake it till you make it. that can be detrimental to your future. You don't want to fake it so well that you forget what you set out to do in the first place. It is so easy to go after the wrong things and wake up one day wondering where your life went. Direction is so important in reaching your destiny. You can know who you are and still not know what to do about it. Therefore, this goes hand in hand with the accountability, because as soon as you know where you are going, your next step is how you will get there. Look at your surroundings, review your life for what your original plans of life were. Be sure that if any decisions are made about the direction of your life and business, that you make them for yourself, not for the pleasure of anyone else or the success that someone else may already have. Do you? All right, so now, since he wants to take over my show today, I want to swing it to Mr. Stanley K. Harvey, y'all. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate it. Doing what everybody else is doing could get you lost too.
Yeah.
That's something to think about, because you could find yourself thinking you following them or thinking that's the trend, but then you find yourself in a position where you're like, where am I at? You know what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. That's something to be careful about.
It's interesting. I actually have a coach that I follow, and one of the things that she says is, do what I'm doing. Yeah. I did everything. All you have to do is do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's great motivation.
Yeah.
But also, she has a team behind her.
Okay.
So she's saying, do what I do, and there's 13 people working behind her.
Yeah.
We can't possibly do what you do, ma'am.
Yeah.
But the motivation of what she's saying is true. She's saying, I made it so simple. We've made it so simple that all you have to do is do what we do. But you can get lost in a whirlwind of information, because where she has team members taking over these things, we are the team ourselves trying to do that. And so it's easy there to get overwhelmed and overcome.
Yeah.
You know? So you want to let us know who you are, what you do?
Well, like she said, I'm Stanley K. Harvey. I'm a business owner. I'm a leader. We went through this before. I'm a husband. I'm a father.
Preparation.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be a little more precise with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's going. But
be you for the show. Be you.
Yeah, but with Tarah, like, I could go off how I met Tarah. That's a big thing for me. I met Tarah through I'm with 100 Black Men, and they had her come up to speak. And when she spoke, I started talking to the children. It was like a lot of young guys. I don't think it was no young girls in there, was it?
No, it was all young boys.
Yeah, it had to be probably 20, 25 of them.
It was more than 30.
Yeah, and I'm sitting in the back, like, really just looking like, okay, how's she gonna handle this? But Tarah came in, and the way she, like, directed the room, and she kind of took control of the kids, and the way she, like, made the certain boys, made them become leaders at the time. That was a big thing too. I thought that was impressive. So that's what got me kind of riding. I guess I came apart with kind of following the Stalk Your Destiny trend that I found. But she do good at helping, like, leaders, like create leaders, helping direction. In the way I told you, like, the young guys was in there moving around. From the ones that's talking in the background, when they're the ones being slick at the mouth, and how she grab them and make them come up and basically control the room. How did you get to do that? How did you learn how to do that?
How did I learn how to control the room?
Yeah, because that ain't easy. Jeez. I told you that when I get in there and I talk to them, 5 minutes later, it's like I'm talking, but they talking.
Wow.
But,
I think I've always commanded a room.
Okay.
But I only talk when I have something to say. And so I guess from being active in class, like in school and college and things like that, I only raise my hand and participate when I have something to say.
Okay.
If I don't, you might not even know I'm in the room. And so I guess with the young people, I think I started, I don't know. I mean, like, how did I even know I could do that? I don't know. But I think that it probably goes back to my mom, maybe. And me being I'm getting into my history now. Me being a pageant girl in high school and in community organizations that had to do with church and just the community as well as school stuff.
Yeah.
I probably started commanding, actually, in high school. I probably started commanding young people as a young person in high school, because I was the captain of the color guard at Normandy class of '04. A. Um, so being the captain of the color guard and then working directly, they call. I don't know if they called me this, but I believe they called me this at the time. Y'all can comment
Color guard,
below.
what is that?
Flag line.
Okay. Okay.
So being the captain of the flag line, and then unofficially being the first lady of the band, or whatever, because my bestest male friend in the world he was the drum major at the time.
Okay.
And so I worked firsthand with the band, and I never played an instrument before.
Okay.
I was in there to make up the routines and things like that.
So
But
that's directing them. Like, hey, this is what.
well, not the band. I mean, with the band, the only thing I did was when it was time to do marching and push-ups and stuff like that.
Okay.
Then I was right there toe to toe, telling them like, get them knees up. You ain't doing nothing. But also getting the girls together for color guard, I expected excellence.
Okay.
I don't care how much of a beginner you were. I wanted you to always do your best. And so I think I started commanding young people at that time in high school, those years of practice.
Yeah, yeah.
But then jumping in and going to the high-risk students at Job Corps.
I was going to ask about Job Corps.
Yeah, going to the high-risk students at Job Corps, if I mess up, they mess up.
Yeah.
And so if I let them off if I don't get these kids in line, they're going to get kicked out.
Yeah, but Job Corps is where you said them guys come in your face like
Oh, yeah.
woofing.
Oh, yeah.
Selling all the tickets.
I mean, they wasn't selling no tickets.
what you buying?
They wasn't selling no tickets. They just weren't intimidating me.
So how do you know they won't do nothing? Or you just stand on your own like, hey, it is going to be what it is?
Oh, okay. So I guess when I approach young people, y'all, he really turned this around on me. He leading this show today. You're welcome. I'm going to have him back because I got to do more shows like this. So I'm going to have him back. But how did I know basically that I could go toe to toe with them?
Yeah, because I know they big. I know they look scary, I'm sure. Just young guys from the city.
But the thing about it is that's the thing. They're young people who are what I would say displaced.
Okay.
Okay,
that makes
and I would
sense.
say displaced because when you're at Job Corps, you stand on campus, you learning your trade. Very few kids leave the campus. Very few kids have somewhere to go.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're there for a reason,
Okay.
And so y'all know with me, like I purpose to be God's example of love in the earth. And so what they wanted to see was consistency. What they are dealing with as well, even in the public school systems is teachers, teachers and staff members who act just as childish as they do.
Yeah. I seen that.
Or overly asserting themselves as well. Like you gotta just puff your chest up and all that. You don't.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. So I was able to I had to raise my voice and everything, but imagine this voice being raised,
Just high.
It ain't who you intimidating, boo.
Yeah.
So in that way, if I do everything leading with love, it doesn't matter what student I'm talking to. It don't matter what adult I'm talking to. It don't matter what elder I'm talking to. Because I've had older ladies tell me too, like, woo, you only getting away with that because of how you said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it ain't the way you say it, it's how you say it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's I guess because I'm assertive all the time.
Okay.
And so when people see me assertive, that ain't new.
Yeah.
I'm not passive. I'm not passive at all. But if you see me asserting and you see that I stick around for the love as well, I stick around for reinforcement. I stick around for emotional support.
Yeah.
What these students had to understand was when it came to talking about money, when it came to talking about anything, I wasn't getting paid at Job Corps for that.
Okay.
And then when I was getting paid at Job Corps, I only took the job so that I could do that with them.
Yeah.
And so so I was literally hired so that I could do leadership with the students.
Okay.
And be paid, be reimbursed for that or whatever. But my thing is that we're responsible for this generation.
Yeah.
And we're responsible for them. So if what I noticed at Job Corps was that there was a lack of love, especially parental love, or big sister, type of thing or whatever. And, I advocate, I think y'all know I advocate for men, children, marriages and relationships, things like that or whatever. So when it comes to them young boys stepping up to me, step up.
Yeah.
Step up. I got 2 brothers.
Okay.
Step up. Every male in my family except one that is of age is military. Step up.
Okay.
Step up. It's not about being afraid of you. It's not about trying to fight you. It's not about bringing you down to size. What it is about for me is making sure that in that moment, like you saw with those young boys,
Yeah.
you saw me turn them from a goofball to a leader right there.
Yeah.
And they left with better confidence.
Yeah. And I watched them talk to each other
Yeah.
because you let them lead the room. So
Yeah.
when they led the room, they really felt like they was doing something. So I saw that and I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, you got to pass the baton, and I'm not going to get my feathers ruffled because you interrupted my class.
Yeah,
You're going to interrupt my class, you can come and lead my class for me.
Yeah, and another thing too, beyond being goofballs, once you do say something, then they get tough. They get defensive. So now you got to talk to them because now they coming at you like, oh, you somebody on the block, or I got to protect myself. But then it went from that to somehow you turned them into like they chest out, not at you, but towards like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I got this.
Lifting
right?
their confidence up. Like, you don't have to talk to me like that. I'm not here against you. I'm here for you.
Yeah. That was good.
And I'm here by choice. I don't have to be here. And especially with the the youth at 100 Black Men, I separated them.
Mm-hmm.
I had the 11-year-olds and under on one side, and then 12 and up on the other side, or whatever. So these young ones are watching how they behave.
Yeah.
And even the young ones were surprising because some of them were ambitious already.
Yeah.
And so giving them direction. That's what I had to, in order to control the room, I had to give them direction.
Yeah.
They have this energy. What do I do with this energy? I have to direct that.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. They didn't have no direction in that place. Didn't know who I was, what I was doing. So I gave them direction. Yeah.
Even with the reading situation, that was a big thing because a lot of them that couldn't read, you still had them feeling like they was important when it was all over too.
Yeah.
So how did you find your direction?
And what?
Like just in life and where you at and how you heading it? Because I basically at this point like a shadow, and I watch how you kind of dealing with people, and I'm stepping in rooms with you, and I'm watching how you handle it. But for me, it's impressive because I'm trying to figure out how to be a part of it, but you already carry it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how did you find that within yourself?
Well, with Stalk Your Destiny, everything you want to become, you already are. Let me plug that in there. Oh, you guys, also, this is the Tea Time with Tarah show where you have a voice and it needs to be heard, even if you want to take over my show and interview me. I'm for it, okay? I stay ready. I wrote the book.
That's what this
ABC's to
is.
Stalk Your Destiny. Yes,
Yeah.
I wrote the book. How did I find my direction? I will say, the long story short, is trauma in childhood. Made me an advocate for childhood sexual abuse, which gave me a care for children and made me a protective person, not just a protective mother. It did not give me a voice. It took my voice.
Okay. You saying in the
that
beginning.
was the first thing that took my voice. Yeah. It took my voice. But on the other side of that that's why I'm so passionate about protecting children, showing them that love and hearing them as well. And then got married at 25 and lost my identity in that marriage. There's a book about that, y'all. Check Amazon.com. Okay, Tarah M. Williams.
She got a library going on.
I sure do. But there's a book about, it's called Until and Then Again, Chronicles of a Narcissist's Wife.
Okay.
And so it is. It's real. It's all real. It's not fiction. It's literally the journals I kept while I was married of what I was dealing with.
So it's like a story.
It's a chronicle. Yeah. So it's a timeline from us starting to date all the way to the day that we divorced.
Yeah.
You know, and okay. I think I might have added some stuff after the divorce of just the overall summary. But it gives that light into the inside. Everybody talks about narcissism and the narcissist. Nobody talks about what happens when you're in that relationship to the victim of that situation. Yeah. They don't know, like, well, how did you feel? Yeah. What did you do? How did you know?
You're right, though. They don't really talk about the victim. They just always bring up the person that done it.
Yeah, the person that did it.
Yeah.
And so this book really shows you the inside of it. Yeah. How did it feel to be, in that situation?
Yeah.
And you can see, like, I read the book after I wrote it, and I was like, man, I was delusional.
Oh, yeah. Like,
I was delusional.
So basically, when you read it, it's another person. You see it as another person at that point.
I'm definitely not that person person anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that person anymore. But I also, you can see in the book the day I erased myself.
Okay.
Because
That's deep.
I lost my identity.
Yeah.
And so you can see the day that I erased, I think it was like October of one of those years, okay?
Okay.
And I literally said, I'm just going to be his wife and their mother.
Oh, okay. I see
And
what you're
so
saying.
literally, but Tarah no longer existed. I was
It's just the
gone.
wife and the mother at that point.
Light in my eyes gone. I was different.
Okay.
I was different. And so at that point, I eventually started going to group therapy for the child sexual trauma. And in the group therapy, the ladies were like, you need to be leading this. And I was like, why? I'm here for what? Like, what do I need to be leading this group for? Like, I'm trying to get healing just like y'all are.
Yeah.
But it ignited something in me, reminded me that I had a voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminded me that I needed to be heard. And so in that, I started praying to God, asking him to show me me. You know, I'm like, who am I? Why am I here in this mess? Where do I go from here? Because this feels like rock bottom. What's next? You know, I had my 3 kids back to back to back. I was a stay-at-home mom. The business that I had at that time was Purple Lavish Home Spa Services.
That was your business?
That is my business, yes. That's still my business.
Okay.
Purple Lavish Home Spa Services. That was 2014 when I started that. And so, but I was barely doing it because I was at home with 3 kids and, you know, a husband who was living La Vida Loca, you know, or whatever, and working to provide. Okay. But, excuse me, y'all, because these faces went everywhere. In that, I was, so I was just asking, where do I go? You know, who am I? Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there?
Yeah.
You know? And so, and that's when I started Stalk Your Destiny. My mom and my best male friend let me, use them as projects, basically.
So now, this 2014. So Stalk Your Destiny is gonna be 10 years. Gonna be a decade.
We'll be 9 years old in March.
Nah. Okay.
9 years old in March. But I started like doing sessions with them and developing my programming and everything with them. Okay. They believed in me because they already knew who I was. They knew how I was in college. They knew how I participated. They knew that I have OCD, which makes me amazing with planning. My ex-husband actually is the one that started me creating my line of planners too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he used to say, you ain't doing nothing with these kids. Y'all don't do nothing all day, you know? And I started like making a list to show him like, yes, we do. We do we do this, and that, you know, every hour. But I ended up using that for a year because he didn't care. After like day 3, he didn't care to see that. No, he was just making a point that day and whatever. But he always made that point. But I created a line of planners because of his complaint. Yeah, you know, I ended up doing that because I started writing in a journal, writing our days out. I think I did it for like 2 years in a notebook by hand. Then when I finally got a job, some people wanted me to customize their journals. Okay. So I did that. Anyway, I found my direction by finding me. And what I mean by that is I started the company still while healing through the childhood situation or whatever. But in that, I kind of recalled and remembered that I was a vibrant child before my voice was taken. Okay. And before my voice was taken in my marriage, I was a free spirit. I did what I wanted, when I wanted. I didn't shy away from things or people.
So all that was taken away once the marriage came?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
So after the sexual situation, you kind of got yourself back on track. And then the marriage came and...
I mean, after the childhood situation, there was a thing called childhood sexual abuse amnesia. Okay. So that happened, but then there was another situation as a teenager, and that's what made me remember that everything else really did happen. It wasn't a nightmare. Okay. It really happened. And then dealing with promiscuity. Y'all, listen, the side effects of trauma are so deep. Please get help, okay? Get help and talk about everything that you remember about what affects you. It don't have to be about blaming anybody. Talk about what affects you, how it affects you, and get help for yourself, okay? Versus, you know, if you can hold your person accountable, hold them accountable, but get yourself together. So for me, I was promiscuous. I was a free spirit. I dealt with it by living. Yeah. You know, and living with that secret,
Yeah.
basically. And even my ex-husband was the first man I shared that with.
Okay.
You know, I think he was one of the first people I shared that with, because I was writing it in my book.
Okay.
In one of my books. So
So you did a book before your husband too?
yes.
You've been doing this then.
I've been writing since 6th grade.
Right.
So that was I started off with poetry. And then I started writing my first novel in 2004, after I graduated from high school. And I published my first novel in 2011, as well, which wasn't the same one that I started writing in 2004.
Okay.
But it was the first one that was published was in 2011.
Okay.
That's the same year I got married.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was always me. That's the thing too. Everything you want to become, you always are. I was always me.
Yeah.
Before the marriage. I was me before the childhood trauma. I was the person God called me to be. And we ain't gonna get into it today, y'all, because of time. But even my name, your name means something. Even my sons, we went over their names yesterday. They wanted to know what did their names mean, because we study different people in the Bible, and they all had these names that mean something, you know? And so my name holds weight in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And so just since we're on the topic, Tarah Monique is my name. And that means star advisor, tower of counsel, star on a hill, elevated star.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means together. But my name Tarah without the H, because my mom added the H, without the H means queen.
Okay.
So I became everything that I was called to be.
Yeah.
And then even doing the ABCs to Stalk Your Destiny, I found a photo from my very first apartment when I was 21 years old. I have the ABCs to Success written out on my wall.
Okay.
And so saying that was before I even got married and lost myself and everything. God knew who I was going to be. And it was already inside of me. I was already going after those things. So my direction came from my time with God.
Okay.
And my direction going forward with my life and my business and my motherhood and all this stuff comes from my time with God.
Okay. So
that was the long answer, y'all. I'm sorry.
So are you okay with the direction where you at now in your journey? Do you feel like it's from back then to now, it's still connecting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's layers to this shit, y'all. It's layers. There are so many layers to healing, so many layers to even leadership. You know, you can start off being okay, but even to be a better leader, you got to constantly progress.
Yeah.
And I don't mean progress to be better than the next person or progress to make more money. You just got to every day wake up and want to be the best you that you can be. And so that means, putting layers down to things. Some people say peeling the layers back in terms of like an onion or something, but I'm definitely I've definitely grown. I would say that. Okay. I've definitely grown from then. And I'm still breaking away from I'm still breaking away from things with the marriage, Oh,
yeah. And
but that's
how long you been divorced?
7 years.
And it's still things that you got to shed off?
Yes, because we have 3 sons together.
Yeah.
So we still have to be involved with one another. And so at times there are things that he would say that I didn't even know about, that I'd be like, oh, okay. All right. Or I go, sometimes when I recall things, I go back to the notes in my phone and I'll see like whatever he was talking about, it's a note in my phone about that day.
Oh, yeah.
That's not in the book, or whatever. And so, yeah, you have to, when it comes to healing and forgiveness, and just being better for yourself to get away from those things, you have to forgive every time something comes up.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, it's still stuff. And he'll still say, things to me now, that'll be like, you always did this or you always did that throw me back into that place.
Yeah.
And I have to remember, like, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
And we're not there anymore, and I'm not that person.
Yeah, and forgiving is not for them, basically. It's for you, right?
It's for both, because if you don't forgive, you might kill them. I'm just saying, we're not condoning violence. We're saying forgive.
The way it sounds.
Okay.
We're condoning violence.
Yes, we're not condoning violence. But because unforgiveness will make you go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll make you go crazy on them.
And you're going to hold that towards them. And every time you see them, you're going to be an aggression or something that you have towards them. And you could take, if you have kids, if you don't do it right, you could take it out on your kids.
Yeah. But we came a long way. And I mean, to be fair, y'all, shit wasn't good. After divorce, things wasn't good. We came a long way.
Okay.
In terms of co-parenting with love, and still trying to keep boundaries, increase boundaries, respect one another's
Yeah.
decisions that are separate, but our kids are involved.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, and that's gonna be I can't say a lifelong thing, but it's gonna be a thing for a while until
Yeah.
like the last kid. Well, it's still gonna be something going on. When the last kid grown, he's still gonna be some type of
Well, we consider. I believe we consider one another family,
okay.
and so we treat each other that way. However, we have these boundaries too. You
Yeah.
know, like if he's having a party at his house or something like that, I don't get invited to that type of stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
that
what I'm
makes
doing at my
sense.
house, right? That's what I mean. So it's like we family, but I don't get invited to the family stuff.
Okay.
So we consider each other family in that he's going to protect me.
Okay.
I'm going to protect him. We're going to be loving and do what we got to do for our kids,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
or
makes
whatever.
sense.
So like our children will think and know, I guess, mommy and daddy are friends.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah.
That's good. That's a good role for them to see,
Yeah,
even if it's
it is.
rocky or whatever. As long as y'all still play it for them.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't pretend for them, but we definitely we worked hard to co-parent with love. It was a fight. Literally, we fought for about 2 years to get to the point where we could co-parent with love
Yeah.
and operate in love with one another versus operating out of the BS.
Yeah, the anger
Right.
of the history of what went on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yes. What else you got?
Okay, we still going.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, hold on. Let me check the phone.
Cause you say you on the mission. You got something going on. I ain't trying to hold y'all up.
No, we can still go. You can wrap it up. Whatever you want to do.
No, we don't got
Look, he texted me right now asking, how am I doing mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally?
Okay.
So that just that check in. Sometimes you just check in on the person and pull your feelings out, pull your emotions out,
Yeah, yeah.
and just check in on your kids' parents, y'all. Just checking in.
That's good though. The ask that.
Yeah, I mean it's literally checking in because how you're doing it affects the kids too.
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
Yeah. That's true.
Or whatever. And if I'm out and I'm badding out and we not on the same, like he don't care, then I'm, you know, and it's a lot of people out here doing that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people out here that hate the other parent, you know,
Okay, yeah.
and things like that or whatever. And I could try to understand it, but also I could be like, grow up,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. But I understand boundaries where you can't work with that parent, I guess, you know. But it's good to be like, okay, we're able to at least just check in mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally,
Yeah.
and leave it there. So, yeah. But that may be me, y'all. That may be just the tone I set for everybody in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Saying to check on you.
Just check in, yeah. Check in because I purpose to be God's example of loving the earth. So I don't care who you are, how bad you think you are. If I love you, I love you.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all she wrote.
So I'm gonna switch the subject. What's going on with them girls tomorrow? How you gonna handle that?
Oh, the same way I handled the boys.
Yeah, because I know you say you stand up to the boys, but you say girls are a little different. Why do you think the girls are different?
Because the men won't speak to the girls. Because the girls already,
yeah.
because girls already, just like the boys, may not have a father figure around.
Yeah.
And then the men that are in position to do it don't.
Like the other day. I ain't gonna say nothing to them because they girls. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. Because they need men to say no to them when they're young and do it lovingly.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that they understand that no is no, you
Yeah.
know, versus, you know, getting older and never having a man say no to them because they didn't have a daddy.
Yeah.
Like, no, they need that foundation of a man just like the boys do.
Yeah.
There is no separation in the role of a father or father figure.
Yeah.
There's no separation of gender needing that. We
I know.
all need that.
Because the first thing you said, why you ain't say nothing? You should have said, I'm like, hey, I couldn't say nothing because, but you did. That was a point you made. Like, hey, you got to talk to them as much as you talk to them because they need to hear both sides.
Yes. Yeah. Both voices have to be heard when impacting young people. We can't simply separate the girls and do girl empowerment and separate the boys to only go with mentorship with the males.
Yeah.
right now we see that in this world that we have so many battles of the sexes
Yeah.
because we're not putting them together. We keep separating them, empowering them separately instead of putting them together and holding them accountable equally.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's the same way with me. I went in there. It was easy for me to just talk to the guys. Like, hey man. Then you like, no, you got to talk to the. You know what I do? I did kind of shy away.
Yeah.
But my man took over. But then first thing he said, I don't got nothing to say to them girls. Like, it's on you. And you like, no, it's on us.
Yeah, but then that's where I said my assertiveness goes from the students to the adults as well.
Yeah, that
Because
makes sense.
if y'all back away and I let you back away, I'm doing a disservice to the students.
Yeah.
You know, so they need both. They need both voices.
So that's why you think the girls act like they act. Like when we was in the library, you like, if it was the girls, it'd be different. The boys listening, but the girls.
The boys were listening. You'll see.
Yeah, I do want to. Tomorrow I got something going, but I do want to see that because you saying they more outspoken, they more, I guess, bounce around a little more, and you like, I gotta say a little more authority with them.
You'll see. Yeah, you'll see. But give more direction.
Yeah.
You know, I just have to give more direction in the room to the young ladies than I do. The young men were ready.
Yeah.
You know, even if they had attitudes and wanted to talk, they were ready. So I gave them direction, but with the young girls, give them more direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so to close us out, tell us, why did you choose the word direction as what you need on your way to stalk your destiny, on your journey to stalking your destiny?
My reason for direction will be because of, I'll talk off myself. I understand where I want to go, but if I don't figure out what the thing is I'm trying to become, I will never find where I want to go. Like beyond where I want to go is, like everybody else, you want to be successful. You want to have this. You want to have that. But if you don't have nothing to land on, you will never get to having this and having that. So my big thing is you got to know what you really want out of life. You got to know what you want to become. You can't just, like you say, following, and then you find yourself lost because you don't really know, because what they doing over there, it look good, but you don't really know what they doing. You just say, oh, this look good and I want to have that. But you got to know where you going. You got to know what you want to become. You got to know your voice. So direction is important. That's why I wanted to say direction, because I understand I'm lost. But even though I've been rocking with you, you've been helping me figure things out.
He's been stalking his destiny.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Like just what you've been giving me, but
the support along the way.
Yeah, the help. But the direction is important. So everybody need to know that. Everybody need to understand, because everybody want to have something, but they don't really know what they want. They just, everything looks shiny, everything look good, everything is glamorous, but you got to know exactly what you want to get to where you're going.
Right. Okay, so did you want to let them know where they can follow you or connect with you? I know you have your podcast.
Yeah, everything that I have will be Stanley K. Harvey, from the podcast to the social media to everything. So if you want to follow me or check me out or see what I got going on, a lot of things is just development right now. So I'm giving out information of what I learned. Like I said, I'm a business owner. I do pretty good in business. Everything else is just from net. Well, for me learning from business, I try to give out what I'm learning. And as I elevate, I try to give out enough to understand, like, it ain't easy. And that's my big thing I try to explain to everybody. It ain't easy, but you got to stick with it. You got to get in it. Yeah. And you got to know where you're going.
Yeah, consistency is key with direction.
Yeah, because I found, just say for me, what I found myself doing, it wasn't my direction. It was somebody else's direction. Even though it pay off pretty good money-wise, I feel stuck, right? So I opened the company up that I feel stuck in, that I didn't create off my direction. I created off somebody else's direction. So I don't want to say I'm miserable, because it take care of me, it take care of my family, but it's something that
it's not your own.
Yeah, it's not my own. It's somebody else's dream that I created off of, and now I feel like I got a job. So you know what I'm saying? So if you wanna have something, even if it become your own job, at least it's yours.
Yeah. So you're saying don't ride a coattail unless you're riding it temporarily to find your own way.
Yeah. Find your own way.
That part. All right, y'all. This has been the Tea Time with Tarah show with the twist. Thank you for joining us today. I am Tarah M. Williams. Remember, you have a voice and it needs to be heard. And everything you want to become, you already are. Until next time.